Working a 9 to 5 while building something profound or having a side hustle is not for the weak, and I get asked quite a bit about how I manage and balance all of my time and energy, because I think I've gotten it down to quite a science, and I wanted to share it in this YouTube video. Before we begin, I want to let you know that if you're watching this video and you are doing this, be compassionate with yourself and honestly be proud of yourself, because it's not for the weak. It truly takes someone with almost an athlete's mind to be able to successfully do this without burning out. I'm not going to say that I've never burnt out, because I definitely have, but these are the measures I take to mitigate burnout and also how to heal from burnout. I want to talk about the technical things I do, how I manage my schedule and everything, but also the mindset shifts and the things that I do mentally to keep me strong so I'm working efficiently and effectively. And I also love my life. I think it's super unhealthy to be working full time and trying to build a business and just let go of all areas of your life that are not work, or really fail in those areas. I want you to have a really well-rounded, beautiful life that you actually love and enjoy while you are building and growing, because honestly, that is the most sustainable way to do it, and that is the only way you're truly gonna find real success. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna get that success, whether it's money or whatever you're chasing, and you're gonna realize that the other parts of your life are really important too, and now you're gonna have to build them from the ground up. So let's do this in a really great, sustainable, well-rounded way. I'm gonna get into a lot of things, so get your notepad. Before we get technical, the most important thing is to really protect your energy. Your time and energy are your most valuable assets, and you cannot get them back. I see so many people around me being really relaxed and honestly cheap with their energy, and the thing is other people will only pay you as much as you think you're worth, and also other people will only treat you as good as you think you're worth. So if you're really relaxed with your energy and you're doing work for cheap, or you're just hanging out with whoever and like going and doing things, maybe you don't have things that you're working on that are building, that are profound, and you have free time, that's perfect. If you don't have free time, or if you are trying to really get somewhere and build something that is going to require a lot of time and energy, you need to be relentless with how you spend your energy, because this is, like I said, your most valuable asset, and you're gonna have to say no more. And honestly, saying no will be easier if you are doing this for the right reason. If you have not read the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek or watched his TED Talk, I highly recommend you do it, because when you know your why and your purpose, then it will be easy to say no. You won't have FOMO or fear of missing out. You'll actually feel quite the opposite, because I personally feel quite the opposite when I'm missing out on going out and drinking or partying or all these things, because that doesn't really attract me these days. Like, I would rather be working on my vision, my goals, my well-being, my health and fitness, than going and doing those things that are kind of fleeting. Maybe later on, when I feel like I've reached a point where, hey, I've kind of hit some milestones, and I'll want to do that more. And I've also done that a lot. If you are familiar with my channel, you would know that I'm not one to just put my head down, lock myself up and work. I've traveled the world, I've partied in all the countries, I've done so many things. So in this season, I'm really happy with, having a routine and really being more to myself and focusing on work. You do really have to be good at saying no to things. Another crucial thing to keep in mind is to trust your intuition and not ignore your body, because it's really easy when you are working a demanding job to have to ignore the signs that your body needs something from you, whether it's a nap, whether it's food, to go to the bathroom, whatever it is. Like, don't ignore these, because the more you ignore them and the more you ignore your intuition or that gut feeling that you get, the less sensitive you will be to them, and then you'll end up feeling numb or disconnected from your body and feeling very lost. And I've been there. It actually happens quite frequently, because sometimes you are pulled in different directions that you aren't able to really, like, in the moment listen to your body. But if you catch yourself not being able to give your body what it needs in the moment, take a note of it, attune to yourself and say, hey, I hear you, but I can't do this right now, but I'm gonna do it as soon as I can. Because if you don't do this and you become numb and desensitized, these feelings can actually manifest in your body, and they show up as burnout, as autoimmune diseases, as weight gain, as different things. And I've experienced it, and it's not a good feeling. So definitely, while you're still sensitive, while you're still in tune with your body, if you are out of tune with your body, that is a whole nother video, but let me know if you want me to share more on that. But being in touch with yourself and staying in touch with yourself is so important during this whole process. Technically, I think it's so important to optimize, systemize, and delegate your tasks. So I was not working a corporate job for a couple years. I was working fully for myself. So I had the time and space to really build out great systems. I had a virtual assistant working for me. I also have a video editor. Hi Judd, he is editing this video. He's been with me since 2020, so he's been here for a long time and he's part of my team. And then I also have a lot of business coaches that I've had, mentors, and people who just are giving me advice. I have a therapist, I have a team of people around me. And I think it's so important if you are doing something very difficult. Like if you think about an athlete, they have their coaches, they have their manager, anyone who's doing something profound. If you are doing this, if you're working a demanding job and you're also building a business and you're doing all of these different things, you need to take care of yourself, and that should be your first priority. So delegating tasks, having support from my virtual assistant is so freaking helpful. I've been using virtual assistants for years and I hired mine through We Clone You. I'll have a link in the description. They're so helpful to help you understand how you can scale your business and what you can delegate and optimize and systemize and all these things. And if you have a business that is making enough money for you to afford a virtual assistant, you definitely need one. It costs me $600 a month for a full-time virtual assistant, and it is the best expense that I pay. Creating SOPs, like standard operating procedures, and really great systems for your workflows. If you're a content creator, like understanding how you're gonna find the trends, create the content, edit this, that, post, captions, creating these systems and making it effortless. Like you don't want to have to use your mental bandwidth for everything every single day, but you want it to kind of flow. And I'm not saying that you won't have to use your mental bandwidth for these things just because you have them, but it will take the weight off of them. AI is a great thing to use to create systems and delegate and just kind of optimize your business as well. But this is so important to buy back time. Another way that I delegate is by getting my apartment cleaned once a month professionally. I clean my apartment, but I think having someone else come in and really deep clean your space, one, saves you so much time, and two, helps you like declutter and organize things from someone else's point of view, because we get so used to the mess that we live in and also the clutter that is around us all the time. And I think our space is a reflection of our mind. And I personally have been feeling very claustrophobic in my space lately, just because I feel like I've outgrown this space, this chapter in my life. It's been time for me to leave, and I haven't left yet, but I'm actually moving to New York in a month. So actually by the time you see this video, I will probably almost be moving this week or so. But it's so important to have a change in your environment. And that's why I think digital nomading and travel is so important, because it brings new inspiration into your life. And that's also why I'm making this video, is like how to work your job and build something while you're traveling and all of these things. And I think a really important part of that too is to be light. And like I said, clutter and all of these things weigh us down physically, but they weigh us down way more mentally. And we don't even know it a lot of the time. Like, it's subconscious, but having too many things can really be a weight on your mind and cause you to not work in a flow state. And I was contemplating what I'm going to do with all of my things. Like, am I going to ship everything to New York? Am I putting it in a storage unit? Like, what do I do? And I came to the conclusion, after getting signs from my friends and family and also some of my followers and just thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, Natasha, get rid of majority of your things. Like, this is the first time that I've been in one place for multiple years in so long, because I typically will be somewhere for a few months, a year, and then I'll move and have to do a purge and just get rid of everything. I haven't done that in a couple years, and I think I really am entering a brand new chapter of my life. And I do feel quite heavy right now. My work is remote and I'm building this thing, but there's a lot of uncertainty in my life because I'm moving to New York, 2 months in a sublease, and then I'm going to find an apartment, but I don't know exactly where, I don't know when, all these things. So it's just easier to get rid of things. So I'd say if you are building something and working, try to declutter, get rid of things. Even if you're not moving, just get rid of things, and trust me, it will clear your space and also get your space professionally cleaned. It is worth the money. Second thing is to use your calendar. I use digital calendars, but I also use physical calendars and journals. For work, I use Google Calendar. For my personal stuff, I just use Apple Calendar just because I'm used to it, but they both are in sync with each other and integrated, so that way all my meetings show up on both my calendars, and I live by this. So I schedule in my workouts. Workouts are a non-negotiable for me. I need to work out almost every day, or at least move my body every day. And I actually have a personal trainer who I was working with for a couple of years. We stopped working together for a while because I was just doing our workouts, but we started working again in the past couple weeks, and I'll be working with her for the next few weeks. But like I said, it's so important to be in tune with yourself, and I felt like, hey, this isn't exactly how I want to feel, so I'm making changes immediately. So really be in tune with yourself and notice. Don't ignore the signs. Like when you're starting to feel that way, tap into what you need and do it. And I needed to do this because I was losing strength. I was feeling like immobile and all these things. So we're working together, and that's also holding me accountable. I think as a woman also, when you are in this state where you are working a lot and having to be in your masculine, it's so important to not put your body through extra stress. And I think a lot of times we're told do berries or do these high intensity workouts that are going to spike our cortisol and make our hormones go off and cause us more stress than we need. And that stress on our body is going to manifest as diseases. So be gentle with yourself, and I'm trying to do that. I also schedule in like groceries. I actually get my groceries delivered to my apartment. I prefer to do this. This is another way that I kind of buy back my time. Getting enough adequate, like deep, good quality sleep is also super important to me. And these three things, like working out, eating well, and getting good quality sleep and taking care of my body, are my non-negotiables. And I think it's really important for you to sit down and think about what your non-negotiables are, because when you have those and then you work your schedule around those, you will be able to function better, you'll be able to work better, and have a better output. I'm not saying you can never go hang out with your friends and all these things. That's what this video is about, is how to have a very well-rounded life. But I think it's so important to know like what comes first in the triangle. Know what your priorities are. Going off that a bit is discipline. Like I said earlier on, with start with why, knowing your purpose and why you are doing this will make it much easier to be disciplined, because it's more of an intrinsic motivation rather than external. It's like you're training like an athlete. You can't say yes to things that are fleeting, and you have to really measure your short-term goals and your long-term goals and kind of have a good blend of both, because you can't ignore all of your like short-term needs, like decompressing, spending time with your friends, like all these things, because then you're gonna end up miserable and like alone. You can't only think about your short-term goals and have like the dog looking at squirrels and get distracted. Then you're never gonna reach your long-term goals. So really having a good balance of both, revisiting them often and understanding like where you're at and iterating your schedule and strategy from there is super important. And what I said about the non-negotiables that I have, these things move the needle forward every single day. And it doesn't mean that I have to go 100% every single day. Like some days my body is tired, my mind is tired, like all I can do is go for a walk, but I make sure I go on that walk. Or like I know that I'm gonna feel better if I stretch a bit. If I just like don't have the time or energy to cook a nutritious meal and I didn't get to meal prep, I'll still order something healthy. Or maybe I do need something that is like a treat. I think it is so important to have self-compassion and be kind to yourself. I personally use the 80-20 rule with almost everything, with what I eat and how I live my life. 80% really good, clear, and disciplined, and 20% like let yourself have fun. I go on those trips, I eat what I want, I stay up late, I go out, I'll have a drink or two, whatever it is, but as long as you come back to that 80% majority of the time. And this is also a way that I kind of delegate my priorities, especially for my wellness and healing. But I think it's so important, especially as a woman who wants to really channel her feminine energy and work from her feminine. I have a lot of healers. I talked about this earlier. I have a team of people that help me. I have my therapist, I have my body worker, I have my psychic, I have my personal trainer, and I see all of these healers quite frequently, and it is an investment. Like, it costs money, but it's an investment in myself and moving the needle forward and pushing me forward, because I know if my energy is off or if I'm not feeling my best, I'm working from a place of lack and scarcity and depletion. And if I'm depleted, how am I supposed to give to my business? How am I supposed to give to other people? And especially as a content creator, give to you guys. I don't want to be sharing content like this if I'm not feeling it's part of me, like it's resonating in me. Yes, I could probably do a lot of these things on my own, but it does take more time and energy for me to do it on my own. Sometimes you can fast track your healing, you can fast track where you need to go by using healers, and I think it's so powerful. So get help, ask for help. Also, your energetic body, your spiritual body is so important to be aligned with and in tune with too. So if you have questions about that, leave them below and maybe I'll make another video on that topic as well. I wanted to talk more about feminine and masculine energy, because in this kind of balance where you are trying to live a well-rounded life, you're working, you're traveling, and you're doing your side hustle or building your business, it's so easy to fall into your masculine energy and get stuck there. And I want to emphasize that there's so much power and beauty in both feminine and masculine energy, and we need both as a female or as a man. And for quite a while, I was very in my feminine. I was working for myself, I was listening to my body, I was making my own schedule, like I was very in tune with myself, and I loved it, and it was so healing, and I feel like I resonate so much with my feminine side, and I prefer to be in my feminine side for a lot of reasons. But a lot of women fall into their masculine because they're forced to be in their masculine, they're forced to be strong and independent, all these things. But it's really beautiful when you're able to let go and be in your feminine. Last year I started my job at LTK while I'm working on my business, and I'm doing all of these things, and I am in my masculine more, but it's very important to be able to get out of your masculine and into your feminine and kind of move between the two in a healthy way. Because if you only work from your masculine, especially if you're building a business and you're a woman, then you're going to end up burnt out. It's not going to be sustainable. And being in your feminine is so powerful because you're tapping into your intuition and you're leading from a place of the law of least effort. Like, you are able to really flow and things come to you and you attract rather than chase, and you'll have so much more energy. And this is something that I'm personally working on right now, because I feel like I have been moving between my masculine and feminine energy, and I've been doing my best to do so, especially by using healers and all these things, but I did get out of touch a bit. And it happens. It's hard to fully like be balanced all the time. Like, there are moments where I get burnt out and I immediately start to make changes and mindset shifts and do what I need to do to get back into a balance. But everyone burns out at times, and if you're burnt out, like, it's normal. But it's great that you're watching this video, because this is your step to getting back to yourself. Yeah, tap into your feminine. You can do this by working out, meditating, doing deep rest. NSDR, non-sleep deep rest, is a great way to tap into your feminine energy, because you just stay with yourself and you get back into your body. And also play. Like, let yourself play. I personally love music and concerts and going out with my friends and dancing and whatever. And I haven't been doing that too much lately because I'm not really craving that right now. But sometimes I do, and I let myself just go, and it is the most healing thing. I want to emphasize one more time, if you are working full time while building a side hustle and traveling, you are incredible. It is not an easy thing to do, but I really hope that all these tips help you in your journey. And if you have any questions, leave them below. And of course, I have my course, Girl Boss Abroad, with all of the blueprints on how to make this happen and how to really build your career and your income while you're traveling and focus on your health and wellness and live your best well-rounded life. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Bye.